Fuck!
Okay, so last night I saw The Conjuring 2, I filmed a video for it, and then my camera died and I lost all the footage. So anyway, Conjuring 2. This is the movie that James Wan returned to horror for. The movie he turned down a life-altering amount of money from the Fast and Furious 8 guys in order to make. So, how is it? So it's 6 years after the original Conjuring, and where does this movie open up? On a very familiar set of windows, and then BAM! Amityville! So Lorraine Warren's doing her seance at the Amityville house, and to be honest, that whole sequence where she goes around like with the gun, it's better than most of the Amityville movies. Oh, by the way, obviously this is going to be a very spoilerish review, so just letting you know now. During her seance, she sees... To be honest, I don't know if it's actually part of the Amityville curse. I mean, it's been confirmed by James Wan that it isn't, but a little confusing. This demonic nun, which sort of becomes our woman in black for this movie. And she also sees the death of Ed Warren. And actually, this is the thing that she mentioned in the first movie that haunted her so badly she had to lock herself in a room for like a couple of weeks. So, there's that reveal. Now, Amityville is what propelled the Warrens into the public eye, so with that comes a lot of skeptics. So, with all the skeptics and all the press and everything like that, not to mention the fact that they have a daughter, and with Lorraine's most recent vision, she wants to stop investigating. Now, this becomes a bit of a problem when they get word from the church that a family in Enfield by the name of the Hodgsons are experiencing quite a violent paranormal problem of their own. The Hodgson family, which is a single mother and 4 children, are experiencing hauntings from a ghost that identifies itself as Bill. Bill the Ghost. And after a series of haunting events, particularly on young Janet Hodgson, I believe is the middle daughter, it seems that she's the one who's being targeted the most for possession. It turns out that, spoilers again, Bill the Ghost is actually being used himself by the nun demon, who's the real villain of this movie. Obviously that comes much later in the film, but not only that, but the Warrens are obviously interrupted by the fact that everyone is calling this a hoax, particularly after all the controversy surrounding Amityville, because I mean, everyone was saying that was a hoax as well. So they're dealing with skeptics, they're dealing with people who think this is too much of a real thing, and maybe just want to prove that instead of helping out the family. And obviously, Lorraine's hesitant about getting back into it, so everything's working against them, and time is of the essence. Alright, let's get to some specs. Now, obviously being a James Wan movie, we have a lot of the James Wan movie tropes, which is not a bad thing at all. I'm actually a big fan of them. Things like the ghosts being like off the screen, and when you're focusing on a human character walking down a corridor and you see something just in the shadows. I love things like that. And in fact, there's a whole scene in the movie dedicated to a scene like that, basically, where Ed Warren is talking to Bill the Ghost, who is like in the background there, very, very faded out. In fact, it starts off as Janet, and as the conversation goes, you can almost swear he's getting closer and closer and turns more and more into this decrepit old man. It's terrifying and incredibly well shot. God damn does James know how to set the tension, something that a lot of recent horror movies seem to forget exists. He's not the kind of guy who just has something jump out from behind a corner and says, boo! I mean, yeah, of course there are jump scares in this movie, but damn it, none of them feel, like, cheap. And god damn does he know how to do creepy old ladies. I mean, this nun ghost, obviously was just using the nun outfit as, like, so... It was explained in the movie that the nun ghost is just wearing the nun outfit just to insult Lorraine's faith. But, I mean, the whole get-up, I mean, the creepy nun trope is a thing within itself, but it's just another thing that James Wan can do. Take old and tired, or what we believe to be old and tired tropes in horror movies, and just give them a whole new, refreshing take, and damn it, does it work? The movie is heavily over-exaggerated and romanticized, which you have to expect, obviously, with a based-on-true-story thing. I mean, the whole thing about Ed Warren's approaching death. Now, Ed Warren in real life is in fact dead. I don't know I haven't read up on what the circumstances of that were. But I have a feeling that if they had him die in this movie in the way that Lorraine prophesized, that would probably piss a couple of people off, particularly Lorraine Warren herself, who is still very much alive. So yeah, everything's exaggerated with the fact that there's real demons and real ghosts, but at the end of the day, it's a movie. I mean, you want to be entertained. If you want something that's truer to fact as far as based on true story goes, I mean, go watch one of the documentaries, there's loads of them. But all in all, I thought this was a fantastic movie, an excellent sequel. It stands on par with the original in my opinion, so definitely go to see it. And I'll be back in this chair to talk about Lights Out when it comes out in about a month's time. So it's been a very treating week as far as James Wan movies go. So, until then, see you later.